Hello.
Everyone, welcome to this episode of Kidcast.
Here, wait, let me turn down this music.
Right.
Okay, now it should be good. I think it's picking up Discord audio.
Play.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, it's picking up the audio
Great, that's
properly.
great.
Um
Alright, so welcome to the first episode of Kidcast.
Yep.
We are your hosts.
Yep. Usually I just go by Groj, but I'll probably have a different name on my YouTube channel where I upload these. I'll just be uploading them to YouTube. But
Right.
we got a temporary background that looks like the kind of it looks like the Plains of Oblivion because I don't know, I just think Oblivion looks cool, but we're gonna have a different background soon that's less of a substitute.
Yeah.
um,
uh,
no, I just there's an absence of like Otherkin videos that exist, I guess, so I thought it would be cool to have one.
Especially one of a podcast. Sure.
Right.
Yes.
What is your where have you found like information about Otherkin stuff mainly?
Mainly off YouTube, Tumblr,
Yeah.
source.
I've mostly been on Tumblr the whole time.
Yeah.
I haven't really watched YouTube videos about it. I haven't really.
Heard of it somewhat through YouTube, but only like those oh my god, they're so cringy, but then I realized they're not cringy,
Right.
but I think the first exposure I had was through a single vine of this person going, on all levels except physical, I'm a wolf, and then barks.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's most of ours.
I think that's everyone's first exposure to it, but they don't ever know what it actually is. I found her.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the forum. I found the forum off of like a Tumblr thread that was detailing good forums to visit and stuff like that. I will find it and I will try to put it in the description because I remember someone actually told me on Tumblr, like they gave me a comment on one of my posts that mentioned that forum, so I went and visited it, obviously. And they were there. There were actually like a high admin, like the Wolf Girl, and they talked about how, well, they're way less ashamed of being otherkin. It was on a thread about wearing gear and stuff, and they're like, well, I'm not that ashamed at all about wearing gear because I've already been like on TV and shit, so they're not like afraid of it at all.
Well, that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
glad they have confidence.
Right. It was just kind of surreal because it's like, well, I don't know. It's kind of the example everyone thinks of, and it's surreal to see it just organically.
Yeah, it's like, that's the exact example everyone remembers or thinks of because of, again, Divine. It's pretty famous.
Right.
Because everyone, or at least a lot of people, have heard of it or seen it.
Right.
Like, it's almost to a point where she is like a fictional character, but she's not, obviously.
Right.
So, it must be very surreal to, like, see or look at this person. It's like, wow, that's interesting.
Right.
It's like a lot of things. I'm a voice actor.
Right.
Obviously. I voice Seiki Kasai. That's the most famous example I can list off, but I can also voice occasionally, like, it's not entirely official. It's like I'm good at voice acting a character named Alatori, which is some weird dolphin sound thing that I wish to throttle.
Right.
Yeah, it's like some people who know me through Next Gen Rampa and it's like know me as the voice actor for one of the characters. It's like wow, this person's pretty talented, and then they kind of meet me and they're like, wow, wow, this is surreal.
Right. I'm not famous in any form because, I mean, what I'm doing is I'm just writing stuff, and what I've done with my cat's trying to sit on me. What I've done with my Tumblr is I've asked that community a lot of questions in the most respectful way possible. Eventually, in turn to asking questions from the inside. There's a lot of information I gleaned just from reading posts about it, but there's also a lot of information I got from actually asking people just on Tumblr, just making a question and tagging it with, Alterhuman and Otherkin and stuff like that, keeping it respectful on my actual question, and then letting them answer it. And it's how I've learned a lot just about the community from that alone.
Interesting. Over here, it's like I don't really not much of a in the community. It's like I'm a little scared. It's like I already bark at people. That's kind of the weirdest I've seen. Oh.
Right. How do you... Okay, so I'm going to ask about... You are a dog, right? And,
Yes. Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Right. I was going to ask about... Like, we should just ask each other about what our common perceptions are of our types, I guess. Because, I see a lot of... I've seen, like, a handful of dog otherkin. Like, it's a kin type that I see pretty often because I follow a bunch of people that are said kin type. Some of them are pretty vocal, on Tumblr. I'll try to link some of the people that I see a lot. One of them is Strawberry Baby Dog. I think their blog is really interesting.
Interesting.
But I don't have any, like, strong... there aren't any, like, strong implications in my head as to what, like, a dog kin type means, I guess. Like, it's... they're a dog, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. With the demon thing, I've seen a few posts about people being, like... not quite derogatory about it or anything, but... kind of being like, oh, well, it's edgy, whatever. It has...
I think a lot of people associate, like, Dominicans with being, like, really, really edgy.
Right.
Like, or just being really edgy. The type of people that say the N-word, like, 5 times an hour or something.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. They're those type of people who, like, people are like, oh, they probably fake DID. Or something like that.
Right.
That's just probably a stereotype.
Right. A lot of it is built on stereotypes and stuff like that. Are you a psychological or a spiritual kind of other kid? Or both?
More over both, but it's more kind of spiritual. Also, it's like a weird even mix. I don't know. But also mainly spiritual.
Yeah. Mine is, strange to say this from a demonkin perspective, entirely psychological. I've actually seen posts about how... I've talked to people about this on Discord servers as well. It was on the Alt-H Discord server where I asked people if it counts as a spiritual sort of thing, if your type is a spiritual entity, or if it's kind of the opposite. And, then you start digging into, like, what is a demon, and then it's, it just devolves into, like, complicated jargon and stuff like that. Because it's... I don't know. A dog is a dog. It's a concrete thing. But...
we are woofers.
Right. Right. Like, I know dog, but I haven't met a physical demon or anything before. Not in, like, a literal sense, as if, like, me seeing a dog or anything, But, there are a lot of angel... I've seen a lot of blogs of angels, too, where their kin type is, they're an angel. And
So,
a lot of the blogs are deactivated, so honestly, I don't see them posting stuff much. But there are a lot of
obviously.
blogs that are that.
I've yet to see like a biblical angel one. Not gonna lie.
A what angel one?
A biblically accurate angel.
Oh yeah. No, I've seen a few that are like that actually. Like not
Oh,
actively posting, but like their profile pictures, the bunch of rings with the wings on it, and all that stuff.
ooh,
But
very
there are
interesting.
a lot of them are just good spirits. I've noticed that with a lot of other kin that are focused around a more spiritual entity, that it's less of a biblical view of it and more of just a general spiritual thing. Like a lot of the angels that I've seen don't necessarily see themselves as an angel from the Bible in the first place. They mostly see themselves as like a good, benevolent spirit, and a lot of demons see themselves as like a shadow spirit or a malevolent kind of thing. Mine is a biblical thing. As you can see from the avatar that I had, it's a bright red, like stereotypical devil with the horns on it. That's how I
The
mostly
hoods
see
and
it.
all.
Yeah,
Over here, I see it's like also used to get compared to a dog a lot when I was younger
right,
because of like the time we didn't exactly know too well, but I have ADHD,
right,
and so it basically came out as very energetic,
right,
very hyperactive, energetic. I also used to like bark and hiss at people.
right,
It was weird, or at least I thought it was weird. I Other people thought it was weird at the time because obviously, if a child hissed at you, wouldn't you be kind of confused?
right, um,
But also because I have a very like soft face with
right,
very somewhat how you would see a sort of like if a dog was put in a human form,
right.
kind of like that. It's mainly that.
Mine is, I went on a roller coaster of trying to figure out what my kin type was, because I started my blog, as a cat heart type, and then I went to just like a regular kin type thing, but I was still a cat. Then I went to a Wolverine, and then I decided that a demon was probably better, because a lot of it is just, which animal do I relate with the most? And it's like, well, it's not necessarily a singular animal. It's more of just angry flesh entities that I can relate with pretty easily. And I picked cat initially because I have cats.
An angry clusterfuck of animals,
Right,
basically.
right.
Alright. Makes a lot of sense.
So, do you have any heart types, or did you have any heart types?
I know what that means.
I guess I've seen a lot of it on Tumblr just from asking people stuff, but it's, otherkin is when you identify as something, and other-hearted is when you identify with something strongly enough to actually make
Oh.
it a label,
Okay, yes. Again, it's specifically dog. Specifically, of course, the breed dog I had said earlier.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say I'd still have the cat-hearted thing, identify with cats, but, it not as one. How much does your label matter in your hierarchy of labels that you use to just label yourself with, I guess?
Pretty high up there, not gonna lie, but it's like kind of a second thing
Right,
because it's mainly it's like the math fetch.
right,
I just like the math fetch, and I'm like, people think I'm weird.
right.
People think I'm weird. I want to have friends.
I have.
Uh,
Mine isn't. It comes out in personality traits a lot, for me. So it is a large chunk of me that I'm just labeling, but I think the label itself isn't as important as some of the other labels I use. Oops, I just timed out in Ponytown. No, I
Did too,
don't
don't worry.
I don't think the some of the labels aren't. Some of the labels are more important because it's how people would identify me with words, like what syntax people decide to use when talking about me. Um, that's usually more important, so my gender identity is usually more important than the demon thing, you know. And to an
Um,
extent, some race and culture kind of stuff sometimes gets a label more important than the demon thing. The demon thing is more important than gamer, I would say, as a label, but less important than like white, you know?
over here, it's like, mainly, again, it's more personality-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Also, kind of like how of the act, mainly.
Right.
Just like, it's like how, it's like people, if talking about me would probably, if they had to compare me to any animal in the world, would probably, me as some sort of dog.
Right.
Breed doesn't really matter, but you would probably describe me as a form of dog,
Right.
considering my well, very like affectionate nature, but also very hyperactive nature.
Right.
Which, yeah, that you, if describing a dog, those are the first two things that come to mind.
Right. Especially
Uh,
the did you say you're a King Charles Spaniel?
a Cavalier King Charles
Cavalier.
Spaniel.
Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. I guess I would
Uh,
identify those with those traits more often as well, because there's some of them where I've seen like people who have blogs where they post a lot of like Doberman and Rottweiler edgy images. Those are more angry, but I don't think a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel is as like brooding and dark and stuff, I guess.
they really aren't. They're more like they're more like really wanting affection at the same time, like kind of awkward.
Hmm. The You know what? Do you have a thing where you hyperfixate on like a certain kind of animal, but it's not
Yes,
like a type or anything?
rats.
Rats. I do that with birds and horses a lot for no reason. Um,
Mine is 99% like rats, cats, and dogs. That
right,
is it.
right,
They come to a point where I can identify markings of those three animals very well.
right. I can identify like weird backyard bird species that no one ever bothers to identify. Like I'll see a blue jay and I'll get super excited about it, even though it's literally just a bird that's there all the time.
Over here, it's I can see like an exact marking type that people wouldn't know what that means.
Right,
Just very recently, oh, I saw a red merle,
right,
which is good marking on a dog.
right.
And also horses, I think.
Yeah, horses have weird marking names. I can remember all of them.
Oh, yeah. Like a lot of times, and apparently, King Charles Spaniels usually apparently were meant to like hunt like small game, like
Yeah,
rodents.
rabbits and
Yeah,
stuff. I was gonna mention that.
yeah. It's kind of like, for you, it's not like I wish to hunt this. It's more like friend.
You want to go grab it with your face, but not necessarily like eat it or anything.
Give it cuddles.
Right,
It's like I wish to give you very much hug.
right.
I
Mine's
have a pet rat, so
mine's like I would want to go hunting, but I don't think that's related to my type at all. Sort of. mine kind of comes from the part of my personality that's like, okay, I'm super connected to the flesh just as a thing. Just like, I prioritize, not prioritize, but also sort of prioritize, um, like physical sensations and physical tangible things. And I can't get a grip and I can't really enjoy anything that's spirituality based, I guess. Like I'm interested in, part of the reason I think it's a Christian demon kind of thing is that I'm very interested in the Bible and Bible history, but I can never honestly make myself believe in like the actual Christian God as just like a thing. So I'm just like, I just read a lot of the Bible for for what feels like no reason.
I mean, when I was younger, I used to be I went to church like once
Right.
when I was younger, and then we left because it got boring. We were bored.
Right. No, some of it's kind of boring. I
They
read.
came out with like juice and like I was like which was wine and like uh juice, and thing is I wasn't old enough to have wine and I was allergic to grape juice. I used to be
No.
allergic to grapes for a long time.
Oh, that sucks. Like you can't even
Uh
partake in the blood, whatever.
but nowadays it's more like I'm allergic to cranberries. I grew out of the grape allergy, but now cranberries
That's
are
so
apparently
bizarre.
the.
That's so
So my
bizarre.
family is known for weird ass allergies. Just saying.
Right. Does your speaking of that, does your type play into the kind of foods that you're interested in at all?
Actually, depends. Uh, I really like a good burger. Personally, God, that's a yeah. I really like chicken sandwiches.
Mhm.
That's I just do.
Yeah.
But I also like, for some unknown reason, whenever someone has food, someone else has food, even if
Right.
I have food, somehow their food always seems much more like
Yeah. Mm.
what's the word? Interesting.
No, I get what you mean
Uh,
though. Like it's more engaging or something.
it's more like appetizing the thing I have, even if it's the same exact thing. It's like that looks better.
You just want to steal their food. Um,
Yes, it's like I just want to. I just look, and it's like I give like small hints. I'm
right.
just looking, like I look at the food or something, and like intensely, and
Right.
it's like to a point where I bet the other person judges me.
Right.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Why?
Uh, but it's like, but it's like, yes, can I have?
Right. Mine mine's like I like very rich foods, which is again like the whole flesh thing. You read about the Bible stuff and it's like, "Oh, well you're supposed to have as far as like unleavened bread and just some limp fish. That's what you're supposed to
Ugh,
feed yourself with. Don't eat the nice
sounds
stuff, but
disgusting.
right, but my favorite foods are country ribs, which is like they're super fatty ribs. They're kind of near the front end of the animal instead of just the back end of the animal. So super fatty ribs, and I also like custard sweets, like custard eclairs and stuff like that, or like a Boston cream donut. Just
Those sound
rich
good.
foods, rich food.
Exactly. I really like cake. I don't know. I just yum.
Cake
Like
is.
candies. I have a specific like of certain candies. I really like sour candies.
Mhm.
Like if you know those sour liquid candies that are supposed to be like sprays.
Right.
I usually untwist the cap and then drink the
Oh,
whole
you
thing.
drink the whole thing? Oh
Yeah, I
man,
just drink the whole thing. I just chug it like
I've had
chug
those
it.
sprays before. I couldn't do that. My God.
I do that. Like it's just like mm, I want all of the
Right.
sour.
I
And
prefer like
it's like
I prefer more like chocolate creamy candy. I've had sour candy before, but it's never been like my favorite.
I really like. I like dark chocolate, but I dislike milk chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I really dislike it. Just, ew. I don't know. For some reason, it tastes really off.
Dog stereotype. Dog stereotype. Bottom text.
I like dark chocolate. Dark chocolate tastes good.
Right. I heard that. I watched a video and it said that Hershey's bars, to some people in Europe and stuff, taste like vom. I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
Okay, so another question for this. Do you think your, like, type has anything to do with your gender identity?
I mean, I identify as male, so I don't know what that is. I have no idea if that says anything about me.
Right.
Like I'm transgender. What
Right.
are you gonna do about it?
Right. I asked people on Tumblr actually, and a lot of people said that theirs was, especially like the pronouns they used and labels they used, was extremely intertwined with their otherkin thing. And
Anyway,
I'm not
like,
sure the dog thing is as related to the male thing. Like, I don't know how that would be super connected, but
me neither. I'm just like he, they. What are
right.
you gonna do about it?
There are a lot of I saw a lot of people that had xenogenders um,
Ah,
that came
I don't
with
know. I often get like confused with xenogenders. Like I respect them, but
right.
I get so confused with
There's a
them. It's like
lot.
there's a ton. Like there's so many, so many to a point where it's overwhelming.
Mhm.
Like one time I saw someone gave me a link to like every single one,
Oh my
and I
god.
went through them, and there were so many
There are
that were basically
thousands.
like hundreds, thousands, millions, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like please, there's so many. Why?
The a lot of the times the pronouns get to be narrowed down a little bit more because um okay, I've seen a lot of them use um I've seen this with a few people that are dog otherkin specifically, or like bunny otherkin, where they use pup slash puppy or bun slash buns, and that's fine. I'm just saying, like, I'm not. Mine isn't as connected to that. I guess I feel the demon thing stronger now that I'm on testosterone, but that's also because I feel better on testosterone, and it's like, whatever, it helps with it.
Nice. Over here it's just like I I don't understand xenogenders that like I respect them. I can understand, but I just am confused by them.
Right. Um.
It's just like it's like how do I pronounce this? How do I pronounce that? How do I use this in a sentence? How do I use this in a sentence? Just
Right.
confuses my brain. To the point where it just kind of is like, how do I say this? Do
Right.
I pronounce it like this or this?
Right.
Like, do I pronounce it some weird way, like some different way than how it's seen as well, or is it like what's that? Or is it pronounced like how it's spelled? Like,
Right. I think again, I think most people that have the xenogender thing have pronouns that are easier to pronounce. Um,
yeah,
just I see a lot of xenogender. I don't know if that's kind of like a Tumblr thing, honestly, or if that's more of um, just the otherkin community in general. I'm not really
probably
that
more
sure.
Tumblr. Probably more Tumblr.
Right, because
Like that's my opinion.
where I asked was Tumblr, where I just I tagged a bunch of stuff related to otherkin stuff, and that's what I got. Is that a lot of people on Tumblr did that, but I also follow a lot of people that follow other like Mogai blogs. Not to say any of this is a bad thing, but I'm just saying.
It's not like important, no matter what pronouns you use, but like I, I'm
Mhm.
just bad at saying.
Right.
I'm bad at I'm bad at sentence.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The
I already can't understand my own language, which is English. Like, how can I can barely understand my own like,
right.
words. How the hell am I supposed to learn all these new ones, you know?
Right. Okay, so another shift in this kind of discussion back to like the spirituality kind of thing. Um, have you met a lot of people who believe in the past life sort of thing?
Yes. Family strongly believes in reincarnation,
Yeah.
including me. I do too. Uh, and it is proven in our family as well, mainly with pets. That's the most often. That pets often reincarnate uh, into new forms and respond to the same names as their previous lives. But also it applies to humans as well.
Hmm.
I, I was probably a dog in a past life, so
Right. That's what a lot of I think I asked that question as well, where a lot of people decided that yeah, they believe in a past life thing, and they try to recall. They try to recall, or sometimes they do recall memories from their past lives. I've seen that a lot with Angelkin, where they have a name that they remember and their own name, and they ask people if they recognize it. They ask other Angelkin if like, do you know this name? And they try to kind of find them. Admittedly, that's probably pretty hard to do, but you know, I applaud
uh
them for making an effort.
personally it's like I believe that everyone starts out as an animal, like get 9 lives as an animal, and then you get like 9 lives as a human.
Hmm.
And whatever then you get like 9 lives as some form of insect, arachnid, bug, whatever.
Hmm.
Then get like 9 lives as like a plant.
Right.
And then you die forever. That is what I think.
Yeah.
Personally.
Again, mine's not spiritual at all, which, like I said, is already kind of weird because it's about like a Christian demon thing. But no, mine's just a psychological thing where I have behaviors that kind of match up with the um, thing at hand, and I decide to label it that way because mentally I think and act like this thing, so I'm gonna call it that. Um, I've seen posts actually about how, and again I don't know if this is Tumblr exclusive, how there are less psychological otherkin, and most of them are kind of more of a spiritual thing.
I'm pretty sure it depends on which area of Tumblr you're looking at, but um it's like maybe most of them are more spiritual, but also some of them most likely might be like psychological too.
Hmm.
Spiritual is probably more powerful.
Hmm.
Get me?
Yeah, yeah. I've met
Pers-
people though
personally
with
think I personally think that this is just my first life as a human.
right.
Get me?
Yeah, no, I get it. The I've met some people though who are psychological um, that have. Well, there is the DID thing, but we'll get into that later because I don't know enough about that to really go at it right now. But
Obviously.
I've met some people that are. They say it on their blogs that they are, and they kind of catalog their experiences with such, where they have delusions or psychosis or something like that, and that's kind of the reason they're other kid. And I kind of think that's really interesting. Um, Absolutely not to
So
say that all other kin are like that, but I just think that it's
obviously, but
cool that people can just admit that.
um, I there I personally have seen that mental illness and disorders uh like tie in usually with other kids stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, it's what I've seen personally. Like mental illnesses and mental disorders usually end up tying with other kin stuff.
Yeah.
I have autism, ADHD, that's depression, anxiety.
Right.
So, that probably plays in with Otherkin. Don't know.
Right. You know what I've noticed with animal stuff actually? Not just otherkin, and absolutely not to say all otherkin are furries or vice versa, but I've actually seen a lot of furries, a lot more furries are autistic just ratio-wise. I feel like that's true. I'm not actually that sure because I haven't seen a direct study, but I've met a lot of furries that have autism as well, and it's maybe that makes me think about people with autism resonate with animals more than people because they have a hard
True.
time understanding people and stuff like that. But they hang out with dogs all the time, so they resonate with them more emotionally.
Yeah, it's like, I don't really understand humans that much.
Right.
I understand animals a lot more, but I do not understand humans.
Mhm.
Humans are much more complex, and
Right.
there's a lot more that can go wrong with a human
Right.
than with an animal. Animals are more human, open, armed,
Right.
basically more like uh, more likely to befriend you than a human.
Right. Or at least
Animals,
if they have emotions, they're less. They're easier to read a lot of the time.
yeah, they're a lot easier to read. Moreover, um, and it's very interesting.
Right.
Like with a human, you could like with comparing a human and a dog. Humans, uh, like with happiness,
Right.
humans it could come up in different things, but it's a lot more complex than
Right.
just a simple smile.
Right.
It could be maybe they're crying. You think they're sad, but they're not.
Right.
They're not sad. They are actually happy, which that just confuses
Right.
me on a whole another level. Why body produces tears when both sad and happy? Interesting.
Right.
Uh, but with animals, good.
I was gonna
As
say
I
that
was saying,
my I've
like
well
dogs, you can see them being happy, just them being happy, like their tail wagging, have some form of a smile on their face.
mhm.
Easier to read than a human.
The dog just wiggles and you're like, "Oh, you're happy." Right?
Yeah, they wiggle, and it's like, oh, you're excited to see me, or you're happy to see me.
Right.
My dog is a good example of it. Like, we
Right.
come home, and he, like, after a day of work or school, come home, and he wiggles.
Right.
Wiggles. His entire body is wiggling. He's like prancing around. He's very happy.
Right.
He's very excited to see us because we were gone for hours.
Right.
Um, with humans, if by chance it was the same situation, they would probably like seem more bored
Right.
or like seem more like, oh hey, and it's like I don't know.
Right. I mean, humans have more of a sense of object permanence too, which kind of complicates the whole thing. Um,
So,
I was gonna say that I have a cat. Well, I have several cats and several animals and stuff like that.
I have several animals in general. Let me count: chickens, parakeets, a rat, dog, and we're adopting a kitten.
Yeah, that's a lot. There are
We used to have 20 chickens, but now we have 7 because the raccoon got in. Uh,
the the only animal I've seen that's hard to read, and you can read a cat just by reading a book, and most cats will just adhere to the stuff in the book that you've read about, like, oh, an uptail means that they're happy if it's not all puffed up, and it's like, okay. But I have one cat that's emotionally kind of complicated. I think she's smart, but she like chews on my shit. Like I know what she wants a lot of the time. Even if she can't talk, I don't know if that's part of it. She's kind of annoying
yeah,
though.
it's like talking does also probably play a big part into it.
Right.
Into like emotions.
Right.
Animals don't really talk much. Well, they obviously make noise, but they don't speak words.
Right.
You don't need to speak words to understand their emotions.
Right.
Like with humans, humans speak a lot.
Right.
People speak a lot.
Right.
And sometimes like gets very complicated.
Right.
It just ends up getting mushed together into a thing of alphabet soup.
Right. I was gonna say that that reminded me of, because I like complex thought, and that kind of adheres to my type a little bit. But I was gonna say that I've met a lot of like age regressors or pet regressors that also identify as otherkin, where they just kind of regress to like a dog brain state instead of having to do any actual like human thought, just for like comfort's sake or to alleviate species dysphoria or whatever reason they do that. I notice there's a lot of that.
Oh boy. I'm pretty sure, I might be an age regressor or something. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a pet regressor, I don't know. In extreme times of stress, usually in extreme times of stress, I end up just blanking out.
Right.
Blanks out, no thoughts, head empty. And it just is like, you want something.
Right.
You want something.
Right. My head like races with stuff where I think of everything at once in a kind of situation like that. And while I do enjoy like that kidcore aesthetic, I don't think personally I would engage in age or pet regression stuff.
I don't activate like, I don't actively, like, uh,
Interact with the
interact with with that community because, again, this is during, like, extreme times of stress.
right,
Where it just, fuck, head empty, no thoughts.
right,
Chew
fear,
on, chew on a shirt.
right,
Uh, oh, it's like, I don't associate with, more happy, personally, but it's like,
right,
I don't really see it as a good thing because it's like, hey, this happens when I'm very stressed,
right,
and I don't want to go into stress
right.
voluntarily.
There's a negative connotation with the whole thing.
It's just a negative connotation with the whole thing. Just it's like, hey, yeah, it's like, hey, no,
Right. No, I get it.
Also, I tend to like more picture related, color related,
Right.
about things instead of just words. Like, with just words, it could mean anything.
Right.
But with pictures, it's a lot easier to digest.
Right.
Like, say there's a book,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very, like, descriptive. Like, it's not, like, but with words, I like if it's, like, very descriptive.
Right.
Descriptive, yes, that's the word. Where, for you can actually imagine something. If it's not that descriptive, just kind of runs along and just, I don't see anything. Words.
Right.
Random words put in a sentence.
Right.
If, pictures or movies, like with pictures, movies, shows, etc., it helps a good bit.
Right.
Like, with Warrior Cats, I'm in that fandom.
Yeah, I've
don't
been
ask.
in that. I've been in that for a while.
Yeah, same though. I literally have so many, like, with fictional characters. I draw a lot of fictional characters as, like, Warrior Cats.
Right.
It's just something I do because, again, with original characters, it's hard for me to come up with original characters.
Right.
I often base them off maybe other, like, fictional characters I know, or off of real life.
Right.
or from other people.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's just like, you want me to come up with an original character. For example, I will most likely pump out something that is very similar, that has concepts or looks and designs of certain of other characters all mishmashed into something else.
Right.
Like example with a clown character,
Right.
I'll most likely add bits of Alatori or Dementio or Marx or Jevil into it.
Right.
Or the Toy Maker from Harmony and Horror. I also like horror stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just tickles the brain. I don't. Jump scares are like something. Just
Oh
it
man.
makes me like me.
I
Like something with jump scares. I don't know if I like it. Nah. It's like maybe it's just a thrill. It's just like if I feel like something is about to jump scare at me, I am braced.
right.
I think it's why I can't play games like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I end up like tensing up. I mean,
Right.
like I am braced and I end up like not doing anything. I'm like, ooh, I like horror videos more, like jump scare ish videos and more.
Right.
Therefore, I don't have to do anything.
Right. There's no. It's not your fault that you got jump scared or anything like that.
Planned.
I was gonna say that I like horror movies a lot, but I think some of them are funny. Like I don't have an issue with
Yeah,
horror
it's like
stuff.
horror movies are funny.
I watched
And
Insidious, and apparently Insidious is actually supposed to be scary. Like people are actually scared of watching Insidious, but God, this like this demon guy. Oh, near they revealed the monster, and it's just this stupid demon guy in makeup. It's
yeah,
like, come
I don't know why,
on,
but
man.
things like Insidious like make me laugh. But when I watched Three Stories to Tell in the Dark in theaters
Right.
for a friend's birthday, I actually was very scared for no reason.
Ooh.
Like, for some unknown reason, I didn't laugh. I was just scared and covering my eyes that whole time, and it's just like, dude, this is a PG-13 movie. Are you okay?
I should try to watch that then if that's actually like a scary movie.
Oh, it's probably not. You'll probably laugh. But I thought it was scary for no reason.
Right. I was gonna
Like,
ask.
something in me was like, ooh, this is gonna be creepy.
Right. I was gonna ask if you care about or actually wear any like gear stuff. And I guess that word is kind of loaded because some people like wear weird stuff, but air quotes weird,
No.
but do you
I
wear
end up,
anything?
oh, but I'm wanting to, like, wear a tail or something.
Right.
Like, ears. Like, it's like, I usually end up pretending like my hair is the ears.
Right.
Because, well, bright color. I mean, it's like, I need to have something covering my human ears, or it's like, no, it feels wrong.
Right.
Something about it just feels wrong if I don't have my human ears covered. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I get it. I get what you mean. I was gonna say that I've always wanted to wear stuff, but when it's like, okay, well, there's a demonkin type. What do you wear that's adjacent to that? And you immediately go into like, oh, okay, well, if you want to, then that's like the weird shit you buy at Spencer's by yourself, and just hide it under your shirt. Like that's the stuff that counts as like a demon thing. I was gonna ask too if it has anything to do with. Okay, I'm gonna put it in a romantic sense, more so than like TMI stuff. But in a romantic sense, does your type affect your sexuality at all? Do you think?
Hmm. Probably it's like, if I find you attractive, I find you attractive. Like, I'm pan. Like, well, pan romantic.
Right.
Moreover. Asexual.
Right.
Like, if I find you attractive, let me give you a kiss, okay?
Right. Mine's I am homoromantic and homosexual. Just gay. It's just the best way to put it. That's how I usually put it.
Or gay.
I don't know if that. I guess you could qualify it as like, oh, it has to do with the kid type or whatever. But then you get into like the rabbit shithole of like, oh, well, that's demonizing gay people or whatever. But it's like, well, mine's a biblical demon, and they do that in the Bible. So it's like, well, does it count or does it not? And should you even, if it does, do I even say that it does? And it's like, I don't know. It's a complicated
I don't know.
subject.
Maybe it depends.
Right.
Like, over here, I'm pretty sure it all, maybe being Otherkin also affects fandoms you're in.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Like, things you find interesting, games, shows, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you find interesting, maybe depends with your kin type. Like, I really like Undertale,
Right.
Warrior Cat, because, well, monsters.
Right.
I also like Vanishing World, or Vanuo, or Canastia, however you say it.
Right.
Has multiple names, I guess. Where people transform into monsters.
Right.
And I find it really interesting.
Right.
One of these good examples is MacGuffin in the Limelight, which is about a character named Target, who constantly goes in between human and monster. Like, usually they're not allowed to do that.
Right.
You become monster and you stay monster.
Right.
And monsterization, basically, is very painful.
Right.
Very kind of fucked up.
Right. Right.
So I could probably find it, the video, for later use, obviously.
Right.
But MacGuffin in the Limelight is pretty good. At describing Otherkin, kind of. Not
Right.
really. It's kind of, interesting.
Right. I was gonna say that I'm not really engaged in any. I used to be super engaged in all kinds of animal fandom, monster stuff like that.
I used to be very, into Undertale.
Right.
That was just the thing I was super into. Special interest there. Because, I don't know, I really liked the characters. I wanted to be monster, and I always saw people with, like, skeleton OCs. Anyways, here's the video I was talking about.
Yeah.
I always saw, like, skeleton OCs, and I'm like, no, where's the, like, there's other monsters you
Where's
can make.
the meat?
Where's the meat? Where's the meat? Where's the fluff?
Right. The flesh.
The oldest OC was actually an Undertale, because I was 9 when I got into it.
Mm-hmm.
15 now.
Right.
So
Mine was. I was gonna say that I got into the. You know what? I didn't ever get really much into a lot of fandoms. My longest standing original character that I've had has kind of floated in my brain for a while because I haven't used him in a long time. But I used to roleplay a lot as him, and he was kind of like a magical, hooved demon-looking thing. Technically an alien, but that's some weird, complicated backstory kind of shit. I like to do my own world building a lot. I don't think that has anything to do with my kin type, but you know.
do too. Like, I really like world building, but it's mainly like the societal things
Right.
of it. Said idea. Like example, like furries. I have ideas when it comes to like furry world building.
Right.
Such as there was this DeviantArt user for a while that I followed. Where in one of the stories, there was a character who got in trouble for calling their raccoon-like friend a trash panda.
Oh.
That got me thinking. There might be slurs. There might be slurs in the furry. Like, if there was a furry...
if there was a furry world, there absolutely would be. Between just, like,
if there was
species.
a furry world, there would be slurs, such as Zootopia. There most likely would be slurs, such as trash panda, and stereotypes.
Right.
Which is...
I mean, you see that with Nick already, like... predator discrimination kind of stuff.
Yeah, like predator, but over here it's like depending on the animal, moreover, or species of animal.
Right.
My idea thing is, Like with raccoons, they're obviously getting called like trash pandas or egg stealers.
Right.
Or like with rodents in general, with rats, but mainly rats, but also rodents in general, often get a like stereotyped of having the plague.
Right. I've
Or
actually seen people
or
that are like they have a rat type and they kind of make that their whole thing. I think that's cool where they get their vultures or ravens or crows or rats where they kind of take that nastiness and they kind of adopt it into their kin type personality thing, especially like their blog aesthetic. I think that's cool when they do that. Which is again like, do you want to be derogatory toward the group or do you want to be like, okay, this isn't a derogatory thing. It's aesthetically cool that I can have like a sludge blog, you know?
honestly, kind of depends.
Right.
With and also with like bulls, there would be a stereotype of them being very like aggressive and stealing your stuff, or like killing people.
Right.
Because like stereotypes and stuff, like a few maybe have done so.
Right.
Like there's already a stereotype for that right now. Because obviously, like people like to stereotype pit bulls as like aggressive.
Right.
Dogs.
Right.
Or like chihuahuas is like aggressive little shitheads.
Right.
Like I own a Chihuahua dachshund mix. It's
Right.
actually not close to that. He's actually very friendly.
Right.
Loves
Right.
pets.
I heard that
he's a good boy.
I heard that they're actually kind of smart, and people just like overstep their boundaries because they're tiny little chihuahua. You could just pick it up and just like put it somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like that's the reason so many people are like, oh my god, they're so aggressive little fuckheads. They're actually really smart.
Rats.
Just that they're very small and you can pick them up.
Right.
And that you pick them up, so you overstep your boundaries.
Yep. Okay,
With
so
my dog, he lets you know if he does not want to be picked up. Like most of the
Right.
time, he's fine with being picked up. He is like very affection. He loves affection,
right.
but he like will let you know if he does not want to be picked up by like growling.
Yep.
Like no, I'm comfy here. Please do not pick me up. And it's like I respect that.
Right.
The moment or like he does a little sneering face before he growls, like you put 2 hands on him, it makes it seem like you're gonna pick him up. If he doesn't want to be picked up, he does a little like sneer.
Right.
You're like, and that's how you know it's like okay,
Right. They'll tell you.
they'll tell you, but people obviously overstep their boundaries with that,
Right.
and they're surprised when this tiny little dog, bites them.
Right. Right. I was gonna say
Parakeet.
that we're almost an hour in, and I want to try to keep these episodes like maybe an hour long. So
Right.
I think we should end here.
Yeah, we should end here.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone. Hopefully, we'll see you. Next
Yep.
time.
I'll try to get a new guest on, get a different background, but it was good. Bye.